out for you.
We'll talk about a little bit in space.
Yeah, come in. I'll be in all day tomorrow and Friday, so stop by if you're in town. And
I don't want to take money away from somebody else.
And I don't know, like I only know of two people. It's all that is seriously
Put in
has started the application process. Nobody's submitted one yet. It just takes a little bit to get the application filled out. So yeah.
Well, I may stop getting copy on everything.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Call the meeting to order. Give an invocation.
With the psalmist, we pray, Lord, send out your spirit and renew the face of the earth. We pray that your spirit will move across the earth to bring healing from this pandemic, bring healing to all hearts, and especially those who are in our own country, and for all of our leaders, federal, state, and local, that the Spirit will guide their decisions in all that they do. May we always be mindful of the blessings and gifts that are provided to us each day. We ask this through Christ our Lord. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Are there any changes to the agenda?
We do have a change. We added the development agreement for Nextlink at the end of the action agenda since it was published last Friday. And then we are also adding a second executive session for confidential business data.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda as amended?
I move that we approve the agenda as amended.
I have a motion from Christy. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Marcia. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Public comments? Okay, no public comments. Proclamations, presentations, Brown Grand Theater seating. Welcome, Monty.
Hello.
Hello.
Was just going to give you an update on the replacement seating project for the Brown Grand Theater. It is a $233,000 project that we started fundraising for last fall. And as of today, we have raised $216,966 of that, leaving us with $16,218 to raise to complete the project. So we have placed the order for the seats. Our timeline will be our last event that is currently scheduled in the theater is Missoula Children's Theater the last week of July, first week of August. Then the theater will close so that we can remove all the seats, prepare for sitting in March, change the light bulbs, and then refinish the floors before the seats will be installed. They'll be installed the first week of September, hopefully allowing us to reopen by our birthday.
Great job on the fundraising. So the remaining 16,000, where is that? I mean, I heard you're going to be selling seeds. And
We are selling seats for $100 a row. The limiting factor on the seats is how many end caps you have, because you have to have those, or otherwise they just fall apart like dominoes. And so it doesn't really matter to us how many you take, as long as you take a full row. So we're doing that. We started a GoFundMe page, and we're continuing to work with civic organizations and things, trying to raise that last bit.
Okay, thanks. It's a lot of hard work, and it's really appreciated, and it's going to be great to see what it looks like. It's all done.
Shouldn't look a whole lot different.
Yeah.
Hopefully it feels.
Well, I should say, we'll see how it feels. We'll see how it feels.
Trying to convince my wife that we could benefit from a road theater sitting somewhere in our home. Probably sure we'll make a donation one way or the other.
You know, and the current seats are all different widths. Most of them are 19 inches, but they go up to 22. And I have a map if you want to know what road to get for the wider seats.
What are you saying, Mike?
Looking at comfort.
Over the years, I figured out where those wider seats are.
Excited.
Any questions?
Great job.
All right, excellent. Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Minutes, excuse me, minutes of the May 20th, 2020 meeting.
I moved to approve the minutes of May 20th.
A motion. A motion from Chuck. Do a second.
A second.
A second from Christie. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Appropriation ordinance number 10.
I have one question, just the environmental review, what was that for the airport?
I think that's for the CDBG project. Or was it the airport one? We had two.
How much was it for?
2,000.
Probably CDBG, the airport one was 3,500.
North Central Regional Planning.
Yeah, that'd be for the downtown alley project.
Any other questions, discussion?
I move to approve appropriation ordinance number 10.
Have a motion from Marcia. Do a second. Second. Second from Keaton. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Board of Zoning Appeals appointment.
Mayor and Commissioners, this is a quasi-governmental entity that I'm elected to review them. Luckily, we haven't had to meet very often. We need to get this back up. We had 2 positions go bad on January 1 last year, and Cammy's agreed to renew. Cammy is too, but she's out of town, can't download an application right now, so I expect her maybe at the next meeting. But this will give us a quorum if we have to meet for any conditional use, or not conditional use, but any variance or exception. Hopefully, that meet maybe a couple times. Once every 2 years or 3 times a year, just depends on what people need, what their needs are with zoning actions. But it's a very important decision that they have. So I recommend we just appoint Tammy for another 2-year term.
Okay.
We'll try to get Cammy next time, I think.
All right.
Or anybody else who might be interested. We got open positions if anybody wants to be on the planning commission, board of zoning appeals, or board of building trade. Any hands? Okay. Oh, okay.
Jay, if you make eye contact.
They don't look at me.
I don't know if you know more, have you read to the Board of Zoning Appeals?
You have a motion from Keaton. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Marcia. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bruno.
Yep.
Airport Advisory Board appointments.
Mayor Commissioners, Steve Richards and Jason Lord's terms expire June 30th. Take those that expressed interest in serving again. Steve Richards has been on there since 2008. Jason Warwick's been on there since 2016. Recommendation would be to appoint Steve Richards and Jason Warwick to 4-year term, starting July 1st.
I think they're both real great, qualified. That's the advisory board. I move to reappoint Steve Richards and Jason Rourke to 4-year terms on the airport advisory board.
A motion from Chuck,
Second.
second from Marcia. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thanks, Ron. Wastewater treatment plant. HVAC bids.
Mayor Commissioners, we have a AC unit that went down last summer. And we're coming into the summer months and it's pretty hot out there already. There's 2 bids, one from Calibre Racing, one from Hoods. Calibre Racing $94.40 and one from Hoods is $68.18. Both of them, I know, both of them were 5-year warranties. I had to call John and ask to make sure on that one. The other one was printed on there. Labor is not included in either one of them, so.
I thought Calabrese said that it's a 1 year.
1 year labor?
Parts and labor, 1 year. Would Hoods do parts, did they do? Did they?
No.
Okay.
Just mechanical part of it.
Okay.
Labor is the same for install through both companies by chance, if we add it up overall.
I really don't know that. I don't know. I know there was a big discrepancy between the two.
I think maybe the parts and labor for a year might have something to do with it. I don't know if it would account for that much of a difference.
There's some stuff on the roof that they have to build too. Because the new air conditioner is it's just not plug and play anymore. So the new is going to have to, and Calabrese would have to build some stuff. And I don't know if Calabrese has in-house abilities to build the stuff to the roof.
Okay.
So we don't really know what our cost is gonna be, other than just the cost for the unit?
No, this is installed.
Oh,
ready to
okay.
go.
This is all done,
Okay.
all in. The only question is that the difference of $3,400. We don't know how much of that is maybe figured in Calabrese's for a 1 year parts and labor, but
Don't like making decisions on hope, but I would certainly hope that we at least get through the first year.
yeah, I would say so.
The other one was a 2002 model, I believe, and it's been worked on over the last several years, and finally, Hoods just said it's done.
What brand was the old unit? Was it the same brand or was it a different deal?
It's a whole different.
It's a whole.
Yeah. I asked John if we could, what it would be to just rebuild the one up there, and it had gone through a couple of hailstorms and it's just beat up. And he said you'd have more money than what the new one would be worth, and then it wouldn't be under warranty at all because there's too many contaminants floating around in the unit. So he said it probably wouldn't last a few years.
But this, right in here, this will translate over to our, we'll be able to use this beyond with the new construction.
Yes,
like that.
yes,
So it's,
and that's why I waited last year.
Sure.
Because I didn't know what the footprint was gonna be and what we would have to cool. Because I thought we were gonna have to cool some of the equipment in the basement, so that would have.
change the dynamics of it right now. Yeah, I just,
Yeah.
Both of them.
Yeah, they both,
Yep.
that's fine. And we're gonna get that in writing from Hoods, so we have it for the record.
Yep.
Okay.
Am I missing something as to why there's such a discrepancy?
Well, I think some of them might have to do with Calabrese had a 1-year parcel labor. But I don't think $3,400 is that amount, but I think $3,400 we can self-insure. I mean,
Half the price.
I would move to approve the purchase of the HVAC system for wastewater treatment plant based on the low bid and heating and air for $6,818.
Second.
I have a motion from Chuck, a second from Christie. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jeremy. Resolution 2020-2098, Civil Rights Policy.
Read the one, Susan. We were drawing short straws this morning. Mayor and Commissioners, with the award of the Community Development Block Grant, there were several policies that we had to have in place and on the record for that, to receive that grant. 2 of them we had, which was the procurement policy and a code of conduct, but we didn't have a civil rights policy adopted in our policy manual. And so we've got before you a civil rights policy. We've had Justin review it to make sure it's okay. It's based on the template that our Central Regional has used in other applications. And so we believe it's fairly sound. It gives us some latitude to adapt as conditions change and warrant, but it also gives us a framework to work within. So tonight we'd ask for your approval of that so we can add that to our library of policies.
We do need to add, and it probably was just something that we missed when we were emailing back and forth. We need to have our address in here. One of the things that they say we have to have is, we need to have our address so they know where to initially report a complaint.
Okay. So we ask for your approval with the amendment of adding the address of City Hall and City Park.
I move to approve the amended resolution 2020-2098.
Have a motion from Marcia. Do you have a second? Second from Keaton. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Development agreement for NextLink.
So in your packets, CP has provided a copy of the development agreement that has been signed by NextLink. The attached agreement itemizes each entity's responsibilities as it would pertain to preparation, construction, and operation of the NextLink Internet facility. Those entities included are Cloud County, the City of Concordia, Cloud Corp, and NextLink themselves. We vetted this development agreement through channels between Mark and Amy and Cloud Corp Board and County Commissioners with the help of Justin and Dana Brewer. I feel like it was very good. Send that on to NextLink for their review and come back with this signed copy. Now it is a scanned signed copy. Since we were running a little short on time and we wanted to bring it, they will be sending originals in the mail for original signatures on it. But I'm here to answer any questions that you have about it, first and foremost, and if it is amenable and agreeable to the city commissioners, I would recommend approving the development agreement.
Any questions, discussion?
I don't think it really matters so much for the 8 employees that they're going to be working here. Will they be primarily based here, working in this area, or will they be traveling in a larger footprint than just this area?
They will be based out of this facility, but they'll be traveling in a larger footprint. They'll utilize this location. So they have a contract with the FCC to build out rural internet or provide rural internet to from Dallas to Chicago. So this is one of their stops along the way. They also have secured places in Oklahoma, Wellington, or Kingman or Wellington, one of the two. And then further north of us, their next stop is Lincoln. and then they kind of go that east route. Maybe it's Norfolk, then Lincoln, and then they head on into Iowa. And so what they'll do is they'll base out of here, and they'll have a crew that will then, their inventory for towers, modems, routers, everything will be here. They'll load up their trucks and send out to work on the towers, and then they'll come back, obviously here to reload the inventory. It will be warehouse distribution along with some retail space, because obviously they'll be selling their internet services to customers. So customers will go to that location to fulfill those contract needs.
And they provide us with a report every year stating how they're doing on the parameters that we've put in there.
Yes, so I believe that's in section 7. So it's on page 5. On page 5 in section 7, actually it's the top of page 6, they will submit to each entity or governing body an annual report, just letting us know that they've held up their end of the development agreement. And that annual report, obviously, then each entity will have the opportunity to review it and build upon it and continue then into the next year for up to 5 years.
I would move to authorize the mayor to sign the development agreement with NetLink Internet.
I have a motion from Keaton. Do you have a second?
A second.
I have a second from Christie. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thanks, Kim.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we did, the county did receive the CDBG dollars through the grant dollars through the state, $132,000 worth. There isn't an application packet yet because they haven't guided us through that portion yet. So now we have the money, we just don't have the process through which we're supposed to go. So I'm hoping here in the next week, we have that process where businesses will be able to begin to start applying for those dollars. So.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Was that based on population? Was it based on any metrics as far as, is there any rhyme or reason as to how 132 landed here and somewhere else?
So it looks as though like all of our surrounding areas all received 132,000. So, and I know that there must be, so just through the chatter of an email listserv I'm on, somebody had put out congratulations to those who received it. Hopefully there's a second round of awarding and we'll know, further. So I don't know if they took into account population size or the fact that the city of Concordia already has a revolving loan fund. And so they were looking at kind of the number of businesses and population outside of Concordia or how that works. But yeah,
It seems like
an odd amount. It was the same, yes. I questioned it too.
it's like a fairly simple calculation, so like we have this much divided by this much, so we're going to divide it by 132. Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. Manager's report.
Just excited to finally start summer this week. Yeah, the heat definitely came, but we were able to get going on fall practices. We got a game scheduled out now. The pool is full, the water is clear, the managers are ready to start, the lifeguards are ready to train, and I think everybody is more than ready to jump in that nice cool water. So we're really excited. Just wanted to say thank you very much to all of our local leaders who had made that happen, the county commissioners and the health department director and our health officer especially. They've had a really tough job to work through, and the whole ESF8 group that's been working on this for about the last 2.5 months. It's been really tough, and I appreciate all the work and their effort to make it happen and to help us reopen in a safe manner.
Okay. Very good. Staff reports. Amber, would you like to have a staff report? Give a staff report.
I would.
Okay.
I'm really excited.
I guess it's going to have something to do with budgets.
Well, let's just, yes, first thing, yes, budget date. So, can we do July 15th at 3 o'clock, which is a regular meeting, we'll do it beforehand. It will be done in 5 meeting, and Chuck will be on Does that work for everybody on that date? It was originally gonna be after the meeting on that date.
I was off on my vacation dates. I apologize. I went home. Was informed that I was informed before. That was my misunderstanding.
And then,
Same date, just.
yes, and then July 20th and 22nd at 3 o'clock. And I think the original was gonna be, well, it was the 13th, the 15th, and then 20th or 20th something.
Okay.
So now it'd be the 15th, the 20th, and the 22nd at 3, if that works for everybody.
So 3 o'clock each time.
If that works for all of you, we can adjust the meeting planners that we had sent out, so it'll be able to come right back to you.
Works for me. Kate's get permission.
Sounds like Chuck. Chuck.
If for some reason I ain't able to make it, can I Zoom?
The 15th one, you said, Amber, that's the one where we'll go through the bulk of it with the general funds. That's a really big one. And then then they'll kind of taper off after that.
Okay.
The first one's really important.
I will attend somewhere.
Apologies for the inconvenience.
And the other thing was just an update on sales tax. We've got our March sales tax, and it was good. It is higher than February. February was kind of low, March was kind of high. So overall for the year, we're 3,000 ahead of last year at this time. So we're just right on track so far. But that's only 1 month.
We're probably anticipating April to take a dip, because wasn't it mid-March when things shut down?
Yeah.
March 17th.
Yeah, I think it's. Okay,
At least we got a little,
We'll see, but right now.
got a $3,000 cushion that might help us. All right, thank you. Marcia?
Oh, I wanted to,
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't,
I wanted to report real quick. We finished up our ticket from May 18th to the 31st. And as far as our activity, we had 2 officers participating. They did a total of 65 traffic stops. Wrote 41 tickets for no seatbelt, 22 tickets for other things like speeding, running red lights and stuff, and ended up making 3 drug arrests.
out of the seatbelt side.
Yeah. So, let you know
Okay,
how it went.
good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Appreciate it. Marcia? Chuck?
I do. I always feel like I'm preaching to a choir. I think I'm continually reminded in different ways of how fortunate I feel to live in Concordia. It's been a rough year. I think nationally, globally, I've seen some memes that kind of did we miss the murder hornets? I feel like we missed them because it's been really rough. And while we've had some difficulties and some setbacks attending to and trying to be preemptive with the coronavirus, really, I think that most of our lives have not been that disrupted. And that's a blessing. I hope it continues to be such. The civil disruptions going on all levels, I think, are really troubling for me. My girls ask questions and we try to have honest conversations. One of the things I think that we have an opportunity here as leaders is that I think as leaders, we all have the opportunity to foster an attitude of grace and compassion. There's a prayer that I've shared, and I grew up with this on my grandfather's wall, and it's on my office now. And I guess I'd just like to say, because I feel like it's our opportunity as leaders in this community to do that. Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. Where there is sadness, joy. O divine Master, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive, it is in pardoning that we are pardoned, and it is dying that we are born eternal. like a lot of us would benefit from taking the time to understand what people are struggling with as opposed to voicing our own struggles. And I certainly see that in my practice, that a lot of times what people need is just to be understood and to listen to. And I feel very fortunate that we live in a community that while we don't always get along, we do have a spirit of listening and trying to respond the best we can to meet people's needs. So I thank you all for the work that everyone does to make this the community that it is.
Thanks, Jeff. I had a few people, I didn't really get in the conversation, but overheard some of it, and had a couple people talk to me the other day about the tennis courts, about the levelness of the tennis courts, because when you drive down State Street, you can see that it's not level, and it rises in the southeast corner, and also the dead spaces in that, and I don't know what's being done about that, but I told me I'm sure we're on top of that, and we're going to hold people accountable and get that fixed. But
the contractor did share with us that it's got to basically acclimate to the space, so it's got to go through the cold and the warm cycle. This heat is good for it, so it can expand and settle a little bit.
okay.
Once it does that, if we still have some dead spots, we'll get him back to fix those dead spots. He'll be coming back sometime the next couple of weeks, didn't he say, Ron? Is that right? Trying to recall. I believe he said he's going to come back in the next few weeks after he's had a chance to do that and check on things for us. So there's still some finish up work, final work that has to be done, but we want to let it acclimate first.
You know, that you shouldn't get a
Help that
lot
out.
of plasticity.
Well, we might have enough heat to seat that in really good here this week, so.
Right, the berries and sit down a little.
And I echo a lot of what Chuck says. It's great how the community's responded to the virus, and it's great how people are responding and moving back and going on, and stepping forward, and trying to get back to some kind of normalcy. But our lives have been changed, and we're going to. I think everybody's going to have different habits and different ways of going about their life that they probably didn't do so in the past. I know I do things a little differently, and I look at things a little bit different way. But I'm also thankful that this community knows how to pull together, and great people that work for the city and the county, and the taxpayers, I think. They're really a group of really concerned people, and they may have complaints and concerns, and that's what we're here for, is to listen to those. But and it's nice when people come forward with positive feedback too. So it's I always like it when people bring maybe a complaint about something, but they also bring a suggestion with it, and that's you really need to listen to those. So thank you, everybody. And Keaton?
Everything's Zoom.
Chuck took mine. Very well said, Chuck. I've been so encouraged with just seeing the things that are happening here. The pool is full. It feels like summer. Well, I mean, in more than one way, but it does feel like we might be getting back into at least a seasonal normalcy. So grateful for that. And honestly, I hadn't noticed about the waving tennis courts, but don't they look good?
Oh, they do look good.
It is pretty. So that's quite a nice upgrade as well.
Okay, thank you. We have executive sessions. Would like may make a motion to go into executive session for confidential business data.
I would move that the city commission recess into executive session to discuss confidential business data, trade secrets of a business, KSA 754319B4 with Amy Lang, Justin Farrell, Jay Trost. I don't see Scott.
He wasn't coming, right?
Pardon me?
Scott wasn't coming, correct?
No.
In attendance and to reconvene in the city commission chamber at, let's say, 6:15.
Had a motion from Chuck, a second from Marcia. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay.
Possibly.
Executive session. Have a motion from Chuck, a second from Marcia. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
I move that we go back into executive session for until 6:25.
Second. Motion from Christie, second from Chuck. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Have a motion from Keaton. Do I have a second? Second from Marcia. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Carried. We'll go into a
Bring your copy out and sign that or not.
She said you didn't.
Yeah, she said it's.
another executive session for confidential business data. Do I have a motion?
Move that the city commission recess into executive session to discuss confidential business data or trade secrets of the business, KSA 75-4319-4, with Amy Lang and Justin Farrell in attendance, and to reconvene in the city commission chamber at 6:45 p.m.
Second. I have a motion from Christie and a second from Chuck. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Will we be taking action when we come out?
Yeah, it's just been a week.
Yeah.
hasn't it?
You're saying something like that should.
I would move to adjourn.
I have a motion from Chuck to adjourn. Do I have a second from Keaton? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Meeting adjourned.